Here's what I wish I'd known earlier. Your life doesn't need to be extraordinary to matter. The pressure to be exceptional crushes people. It convinces them that ordinary kindness doesn't count. But almost everything holding this world together is done quietly. Parents getting up at night with sick children. Workers doing honest work without praise. Friends checking in when something feels off. Small acts, unremarkable ones. If you want to know whether you matter, look at the people in front of you. Are you present? Are you kind when you don't have to be? Do you listen? These things won't make you famous, but they decide whether your life meant something. When my grandson was 7, he was terrified of water. For 3 weeks, I stood with him at the shallow end. 15 minutes a day. No pressure, just presence. He doesn't remember it now, but I do. That's mattering. Status fades. Achievements disappear. But people never forget how you made them feel. Last week, I spoke to a tired cashier. Just 3 minutes. It didn't change the world, but it mattered to her. So here's my answer. Yes, what you do matters, just not in the ways you've been taught to measure. I'm 87. When I think about my life, I don't think about recognition. I think about the people I loved well, the moments I stayed, the times I listened. That's what lasts. When I was 39, I hit a rough stretch. My business was failing. Money was tight. I was drinking too much, sleeping too little. I felt like I had failed at everything that mattered. One evening, I sat in my car outside a bar, trying to decide whether to go in. A man I barely knew knocked on my window. His name was Tom. We'd met maybe twice. He said he was heading for coffee and asked if I wanted to join him. That was it. No lecture. No advice. Just coffee. We sat in a diner for 2 hours. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't try to fix me. He talked about his kids, a book he was reading, a trip he took years ago. Somewhere in the middle of that ordinary conversation, something in me settled. I didn't go into the bar. I went home. Tom probably forgot that night by morning, but it changed the direction of my life. That's the truth about matching. It doesn't announce itself. You don't get notified. You'll do something that feels small, and it will be everything to someone else. And most of the time, you'll never know. My wife used to write letters, real ones, to our kids, to old friends, to anyone she thought of. I teased her for it. After she passed, I found boxes of replies. People kept her letters for years. They read them during hard times. She wasn't trying to matter. She just reached out, and she mattered deeply.
Let me tell you about my neighbor, Margaret. She lived 3 houses down from us for 42 years. She was a school teacher, 3rd grade, same classroom, same school, her entire career. She never married, no children of her own. When she retired, the school held a small gathering in the gym. Maybe 30 people showed up. There were no cameras, no big speeches. She received a plaque and some flowers. That was it. 2 years later, she passed away quietly in her sleep. When I went to her funeral, I expected it to be modest. Instead, the church was full, standing room only. One by one, people stood up to speak. A doctor said Margaret was the first person who made him believe he was smart. A woman who ran a nonprofit said Margaret taught her to read when everyone else gave up. A man in his 50s said he became a teacher because of her. Story after story, lives redirected. And all of it came from a woman who thought she was just doing her job. Margaret never tried to change the world. She didn't chase recognition. She showed up. She learned names. She noticed when a child was struggling and stayed late to help. Nothing flashy, nothing that would ever trend. But the impact of her life is still moving through people she never met. That's when I realized something. We think matching means being seen, but life doesn't work that way. Life is built on small, almost invisible moments between people.
I was picking up my granddaughter from school. She got into the car and sat there quietly, not upset, not angry, just empty, like someone had dimmed the lights inside her and forgot to turn them back on. She's 15. I asked how her day went. She shrugged. I asked if something happened. She said no. We drove for a while in silence. Then she said something that hasn't left me since. Grandpa, does it ever feel like nothing you do actually matters? I'm George. I'm 87 years old. I've lived long enough to see wars come and go. I've watched economies rise, collapse, then pretend they never did. I've buried people I loved. I've made mistakes that still visit me when the house is quiet. And that question shook me, because I've asked it too, more times than I'd like to admit. The difference is this. She's standing at the beginning of her life, looking forward. I'm standing near the end, looking back. And somewhere between those two views, I finally understand something I didn't when I was younger. We live in a world obsessed with being noticed. Everyone wants proof that they mattered, that they left a mark, that they counted. People chase titles, applause, followers. They measure their worth by how many people know their name. I understand why. But after nearly 9 decades, here's what I know. The things that matter most almost never feel important while they're happening.